Hey guys, this is Abhishek from GadgetStools.com, and today we are going to do a quick unboxing and full review of the Huawei SN Mate. Here we have the device package with us, as you can see, and if we take a look over the package, this package is again imported from China, so most of the things are actually written in Chinese. We won't be able to read this. And if we actually talk about the sound, we have Dolby Digital Plus sound on this device coming out from the loudspeaker, and that's it. So we have nothing much mentioned on the box which we can actually understand. So let's unbox the device and let's take a look what we have in the package. So these are all the package contents of the Huawei SN Mate package which we have got. If we take a look over the charger, we have this kind of a charger with US pin over here, and when it comes to the output current, you have 2 ampere current coming out from this device. Seems to be a powerful charger. It will charge the device much faster. You have the micro USB to USB cable over here, which looks pretty good in terms of the overall build quality. Again, a standard kind of a cable. And here we have the headphones which come within the package, or the earphones I should call it. So these earphones are pretty okay in terms of the overall build quality. These are standard earphones which we get. You also get a module over here to pick the call, and you also have a mic so that you can use these earphones whenever you are on a call, so you can use them. You have the audio lead like this, as you can see. Apart from this, we get some user manuals which are again packed in the same way which Apple does. So you have the Huawei user guide, the SN Mate guide, and that's it. Apart from this, we should also get, so this is the device, as we can see, and the battery is sealed inside the device. The back cover is non-removable. So here we have the Huawei SN Mate, which looks pretty big in terms of the overall size. So this is another phablet, a phone plus tablet in terms of the functionality if we talk about, and the display size on this device is pretty huge. It is around 6.1 inch in terms of the display, which is pretty big. And this is one of the devices which we have seen in the recent times which has a pretty big display size. And let me just turn on the brightness as well on this device to full, so that you can find out the colors of the display and the clarity of the display. So the display which we have on this device is an IPS plus LCD display, which is pretty good, and at extreme brightness it does look pretty good in terms of the colors as well. Viewing angles for the display are quite wide. There is no problem, no fading of colors I can see on this display even if I view it from extreme viewing angles. The display angle supported on this device is 178 degree, which is pretty wide as compared to the other devices which falls in the same price segment. All this device has a pretty good design. You have a nice curvy backside, which again will give you good grip when you hold the device. And also the black color variant of this device has a matte finish backside, whereas the white color variant has a glossy backside. The black one definitely has a matte plus rubberized finish, which again gives you nice grip when you hold the device in one hand. Or also these edges also are pretty good to give the device a kind of a premium look, and also to give you a better grip when you hold the device in one hand. Although the device is little bit larger when you hold it in one hand, but you will get used to it once you start using it. And again, as per Huawei claims, they claim that this device is actually suited for the right jeans pocket. So they have designed this device that it can easily go inside a jeans pocket. In terms of the dimension, the device has a thickness of around 9.9 millimeter over here at this point, whereas the thickness gets decreased over here and or at the edges, which again makes it easy to hold. And as far as the weight of this device is concerned, the weight is around 198 gram, which is quite comparable to the other phablets which we have seen from other companies. And if we actually compare this one in terms of the size with the Samsung Galaxy Mega 5.8, here we have the Samsung Galaxy Mega 5.8, and in terms of the size, it is slightly bigger in terms of the size, as you can see. In terms of the display as well, the display is slightly bigger on the Huawei SN Mate as compared to the 5.8 inch display of the Samsung Galaxy Mega 5.8. Now comparing the Samsung Galaxy Mega 6.3 with the Huawei SN Mate, the Huawei SN Mate has little bit lesser size in terms of the display. We have 6.3 inch display on this device, whereas we have 6.1 inch display on this device. In terms of the size, if we take a look, the SN Mate is slightly smaller in terms of the overall size. as you can see over here. In terms of the display, if we compare, the display is almost the same. There is a minimal difference in terms of the display size as well if we actually compare these devices side by side. Now before I start the review, let me just give you a hardware overview of the device. At the bottom you have the micro USB port for data syncing and charging. You have a primary mic over here. On this side, on the left, on the top, you have the slot for the micro SD memory card to expand the storage of the device, and you can insert the memory card over here. At the top you have the slot for the SIM card, which will accept a micro SIM, not a normal size SIM card. And here you have the 3.5mm audio jack. Here you have the power and sleep key, and you have the volume rocker over here, which again gives you good amount of feedback. And if we take a look over the design, we have this kind of a finishing over here, the golden kind of finishing with black shining edge, which holds the glass, the front glass. This is how the lock screen look like, and you can easily launch the camera from here. You can go to the messaging application, you can go to phone dialer, or you can directly unlock the device by dragging this icon over here. When it comes to the home screen, you have like 5 home screens, and you can again increase these home screens up to 9 maximum, and you can set any one of them as default home screen. If you take a look over the notification center, this is how the notification center look like, and you have toggles for the brightness, auto sync, Bluetooth, everything over here. You can access the settings over here as well. And if you take a look over the version of Android, so it is running 4.1.2, and when it comes to the phone storage, you get around 4.04 GB available to the user. You have 2 GB of RAM. And if you take a look over the application manager on this device, if we find out the free storage, so the free storage in terms of the RAM is around 1.1 GB, which you get free on this device out of the box. So you can install more applications. When it comes to the actual storage scenario, you get around 4.68 GB available to the user out of 8 GB variant which we have on this device. As far as internal memory is concerned, you can always increase the internal memory by using a micro SD memory card, and you can also set the default storage location. So once you insert the micro SD memory card into this device, you should be able to install application directly on the micro SD memory card, and you can also move apps from the phone memory to the memory card. So as you can see, we have inserted the micro SD memory card, and we can select micro SD memory card as internal storage so that we can directly install apps on this storage. And you also have automatic brightness support on this device because of the sensors. When it comes to wallpaper, you have static wallpaper support. You can change the wallpaper as per this kind of settings, as you can see, shake to change or random change. I guess this device does not have support for video wallpapers, but again you can support them with the help of the application, and we have done a video on that. And as this device has pretty big display size, so especially it has some operations for one-handed usage. That means you can unlock the device with the help of one hand by moving the locking orientation, the pattern over here, either to the left or to the right. You can always move the dialer or in-call keypad whenever you are dialing a number, so that you can easily dial a number using your thumb or one finger. And you can also move the Huawei keyboard as well while typing on this device with the one-handed operations. And another way to speed up the device is that you can press the multitasking key over here, and if you want to kill all these applications at once, you just need to tap over here once, and it will automatically kill all these applications one by one. Screen on the device is extra sensitive, especially if you want to use this device with the help of gloves. You can use that at the winter time, and you just need to enable this option, and the screen will become much more sensitive, especially if you want to use it with a glove. Now this is how the messaging application look like, and again it is little bit optimized in terms of the overall look. When it comes to the keyboard is quite big in terms of the keys, so you will not have any problem while typing on this device, either with the thin fingers or with thick fingers. Although you do not have continuous swipe to type support on this device as far as the keyboard is concerned, you can always type using your voice as well on this device, but swipe to type is not supported on this device. As you can see, this is how the phone dialer look like, and again you do not have the video call option directly on the phone dialer, although you can shift the phone dialer either to the left or to the right in case you want to dial a number using one of your hand. And as you can see, this is how the camera UI look like, and again the camera UI is pretty much simple in terms of the understanding. You have the preview button over here, the preview pane to select the photos which you have captured from this device. You can toggle to the video mode over here, and again you can record high definition video at 1080p using the back camera. And if we actually access the settings, here we can set the video quality to super fine, and at super fine you can record high definition video at 720p as you can see, and if we change it to fine, the resolution should get changed. So as you can see, you can select in between different resolutions of the video. You can record a full HD video at 1920 into 1088, and you have the autofocus, the white balance set to auto. You can control it as well. If we take a look over here, you can also specify different kind of effects to your photos in case you want to capture different kind of photos with different effects. As you can see, all these funny effects you can apply. And when it comes to the other settings, we take a look at the settings. You can specify the video quality step. You can also specify the electronic image stabilization over here while doing the video recording. You can also specify the preferred save location for the videos and photos. When it comes to the photo settings, let me just show you the photo settings as well. So under the photo settings, you have all these options like white balance, image adjustment, timer shot. You also have a panorama support on this device, so you can also take panorama photos as well. And let me just show you the same. So you have panorama support as well on this device. You have HDR mode also supported on this device. You have other modes as well, low light and beauty and smile mode. And if we show you the view from the front camera, this is how the view will look like from the front camera. And the front camera is again 1 megapixel, but it is capable of doing a high definition video chat. As you can see, you can also zoom in using the digital zoom on the front camera. And if we go back, you can also take timer shots using the front camera as well. And here we have the flash which we can set to auto. You do have tap to focus as well on this device. So let's take a photo as of now. So the camera shutter is quite fast in taking photos, and this is how the photo will look like, especially when you capture the photo in normal light indoor room basically. And the photo comes out to be pretty good in terms of the overall colors. We have also taken some other photos. So this is how the photo looks like, especially in case you have so many colors on the object itself. And the photo comes out to be pretty good in terms of the clarity as well as in terms of the colors, as you can see. Now to show you the gaming performance of this device, we are playing this game called Riptide, and the game is running smoothly in terms of the graphics. I do not notice any lag till now. So the gameplay is kind of smooth in terms of the overall graphics, and this game is running pretty nice without any issues. And the graphics are not very good in terms of the overall reflection, but they are pretty okay, as you can see over here. Now one thing which I don't like about this device is that there is no way to access the all apps drawer. You can only go across all the apps using the home screen, so you will need to go across different home screen to actually access all the apps. They are automatically sorted into a separate folder, so you have all the Google applications sorted in a separate folder. You have all these kind of applications including app installer and system update. System update will allow you to install version of Android update, the new version of Android on this device without requiring you to connect it to a PC. So you can have over the air updates on this device whenever they are pushed out. You have different kind of utilities over here which come pre-installed. You have Kingsoft Office pre-installed. You have DLNA support on this device. You have sound recorder, flashlight as well, with which you can use this light over here as torch. And you also have a movie studio where you can actually edit videos on the go, which you have on this device. You also get a file manager as well on this device. So most of the essential applications which are required on this device, they come pre-installed, including the Facebook and Twitter application, utilities, and some Google applications as well, which come pre-installed, including the YouTube application as well. You also have the cloud sync feature on this device, which is actually a kind of a application which will allow you to access the free storage offered to this device as cloud storage from Huawei with the help of the servers. And to the browser, you have almost the stock Android browser which we have on this device. And let me just try to load a website. So as you can see, we have loaded our website GadgetStudio.com on this, and the browser has loaded the website pretty fine. As far as kinetic scrolling is concerned, it is not very smooth, but Whenever you scroll a web page, it works pretty well without any issues. And when it comes to page to phone does work. It is not that fluid, but again works pretty well. The rendering of the text is quite precise, crisp and clear on this browser, and you can also play YouTube videos within the web page on this browser without requiring you to open the YouTube application for the same. Double tap to zoom does work, and when it comes to panning is also pretty okay on this device into this browser. You can see we are playing a YouTube video on this device, a high definition YouTube video, and if we take a look, the video is getting played in the high definition format because of the high resolution which we have on this device. And as far as the viewing angles for the video is concerned, viewing angles are quite wide. I do not notice any problem while watching this video from extreme viewing angles, either from the top or bottom or from the right or left. So let me just show you the volume which comes out. Overall volume of sound which comes out from the loudspeaker, which is over here, is quite loud on this device. As far as high definition video playback is concerned, this device supports playing high definition video at 720p as well as at 1080p, and we have played the videos of different formats, and we did not get any kind of video or audio sync issues on this device till now. And you also have support for GPS navigation on this device. Once you enable this option over here, you should be able to use GPS navigation on this device with the help of assisted GPS. You also have the option of hiding this navigation bar over here. So once you enable this option over here, you will see this arrow which will allow you to hide the navigation bar which is there on the touchscreen. So you can always hide it in case you don't want to see it and you want to have a full screen experience on this device without the touch buttons which are there at the bottom. So under the sound settings, we notice that you have support for Dolby Digital Plus sound. That means you can actually adjust the overall sound quality which comes out from this device either through the earphones or through the loudspeaker, and you can have a better quality of sound coming out from this device. And you also have the option of moving the apps from the phone memory to the SD card. As far as the overall battery life of the Huawei Ascend Mate is concerned, it gives you around 1 day of battery backup and sometimes more than 1 day as well for a moderate user. If you are a heavy user who plays a lot of games and also watches a lot of videos on this device, then you will get little less than 1 day as far as the battery backup is concerned. So have a small notification light, the LED notification light on this device, which is hidden behind the earpiece, and you cannot actually see it very easily. It is kind of not fairly visible, but it gets light up whenever you charge the device or whenever the device is running out of critical battery. Now if you take a look over the quadrant standard information on this device, we have the model number of device mentioned over here, that is MT1U06. And when it comes to the processor, you have ARM-V7 processor on this device, clocked at 1.2 GHz quad-core processor. When it comes to the display settings, you have the GPU which is from HiSilicon Technologies, and it is an Immersion 16 GPU. And as far as the resolution is concerned, you have 721 into 1208 because some part of the screen resolution is actually taken up by these touch capacitive buttons which are there within the display. And when it comes to the sensors, you have all these sensors on this device: 3-axis accelerometer sensor, magnetic field sensor for navigation, so you can use this device for GPS navigation as well. You have orientation sensor, light sensor, proximity, gyro, gravity, linear acceleration, and a rotation vector sensor as well on this device. Now this device has scored a pretty good score on the quadrant standard utility as far as the benchmark is concerned, that is 5057 is the total score, and this is how the detailed score look like for the CPU, memory, input, output, 2D. And as far as multi-touch is concerned, this device supports 10-point multi-touch. Now one thing which I like about this device is that you can actually hide the navigation bar in case you want to enjoy something, including a game or a movie on this device in full screen mode. You can always tap over here basically, so you can always hide this navigation bar by tapping over here, and the navigation bar will be hidden and the game or the video will start playing in full screen, so that you have the complete resolution at your disposal, especially while playing the game. So as far as the overall gaming performance of this device is concerned, it is pretty good. We are playing Subway Surfer as of now, and this game is running pretty fine. I do not notice any lag in the graphics till now, and the touchscreen is also kind of sensitive while playing this game. There is no issue at all. and the overall quality of sound which I get from the loudspeaker on this device while playing this game is pretty good. On AnTuTu, this device has scored 14218, as you can see, as far as the benchmarks are concerned. Now on Ninamark, this device has scored 51.5 FPS, which is pretty good for a device like this. So you can have a proper gaming experience on this device. This device is capable of running most of the graphic intensive game, including Modern Combat 4, Frontline Commando, D-Day, and other games like Need for Speed Most Wanted and Dead Trigger also run fine on this device. That's all from us as far as the complete detailed review of the Huawei SN Mate. Do let us know if you have any specific questions on this device. We would love to help you. You can like this video if this video helped you by clicking the like button below. You can subscribe to our YouTube video channel for more videos like this by clicking the subscribe button below. Thanks for watching this video. This is Abhishek signing off. Thank you.